تقول في هذا الرجل? What do you say about this man? What do you say about this man? Now, what this man means here, it does not mean that they bring the Prophet ﷺ in each grave. As some people say that Prophet ﷺ is alive like us. So, because he is alive like us, so he can come to any grave, to every grave. So the matter is proved by this hadith, they say. But this is not the right understanding. Why? In the time of the Prophet ﷺ, a woman used to sweep in the mosque, and she died. And the people buried her. Next day the Prophet ﷺ knew about the death of this woman. When he did not see her, he said, "Where is she?" They said, "She died and we buried her." And he said, "Why did not you tell me? Why did not you inform me?" And then he went to her grave and prayed janaza, salatul janaza upon her. Now what do we understand from this hadith? We understand from this hadith, if in the questioning which has already taken place for this woman in the grave, if the Prophet ﷺ was brought to her and she was asked, "Who is this man? What do you say about this man?" Prophet must have known. Prophet must have known that he has gone to the grave of that woman. So why should he ask next day the people that why did not you tell me that she died? So it means that his ruh or his soul is not taken to every grave. No, that is not the case. Then what is the proper meaning? That here, same thing. ماذا تقول في هذا الرجل? What do you say about this man? As if this man is known to everybody. They know when it is said this man, it means Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Same thing. Another incident of the same nature. When our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wrote the letter to the Heraclius and other rulers, Heraclius, who was at that time in Leyton Muqaddas or Jerusalem, he received the letter of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, "Is there any Arab person around?" They said, "Yes, Abu Sufyan is around." So he called upon Abu Sufyan. And then there was a dialogue between Heraclius and Abu Sufyan. He did not ask, "What do you say about Muhammad?" He did not say like this. He said to Abu Sufyan, "ماذا تقول في هذا الرجل?" What do you say about this man? Because our Prophet ﷺ was so famous that the discussion was about him, that he did not mention the name. He said, "ماذا تقول في هذا الرجل?" What do you say about this man? Is he a true person or a false person? So this al is known to be al lil ahad. It is something which is either mentioned in the text or it is found in your mind. Now let us see, in the beginning of this ayah, al-muhsanat is mentioned. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ مِنْكُمْ طَوْلًا أَنْ يَنْكِحَ الْمُحْسَنَاتِ الْمُؤْمِنَاتِ. And the person who can't afford to marry al-muhsanat, the woman, the free woman, al-mu'minat, believer one, then he can marry those whom your right hand possesses. So here al-muhsanat means what? Does it mean married woman? The person who can't afford to marry the married woman? That is not the meaning. So what is the meaning? The person who can't afford to marry just woman, free woman, then he can go for slave girls. So it means al-muhsanat here means those free women who are not married, who are still, but they are about to marry. They are about to marry and they are prepared for marriage. So if these women who are not married, al-muhsanat, these are the very same word al-muhsanat which is used here in the end, that if these slave girls commit adultery after the marriage, then they would receive half of the punishment of al-muhsanat. Who these are al-muhsanat? The one which are mentioned in the beginning, unmarried believer woman. And what is their punishment? 100 times flogging if they commit adultery. Not rajm, not stoning. That is one of the strongest evidence to refute the claim of those people who say that rajm is not mentioned in the Quran. Why? Because of this ayah. Rajm can't be halved. So remember this evidence, that is a very strong evidence. فَعَلَيْهِنَّ نِصْفُ مَا عَلَى الْمُحْصَنَاتِ مِنَ الْعَذَابِ. There is another hadith about selling the slave girls who is in the habit of committing adultery again and again. Prophet ﷺ said that if the slave girl commits adultery first time and this adultery is known to everybody, then flog her 50 times. If she commits adultery once again, flog her. If she commits adultery once again the third time, then Prophet ﷺ said that sell her even at the price of a rope made of hairs. Hairs here means, of course, the hairs of the goat or the camels. Okay. Yani she got no value at all now. Even at a tiny price, just sell her. Now here comes the difference between Zahiriya and the other Mazahib. Zahiriya people, they stick to the text itself. They don't want to go an inch away from the text. They say the hadith says that you must sell her, so you must sell her at a very tiny price. And the Jumhur say that selling her is just mustahab, and it means that you have flogged her twice and she is still committing the adultery. Then either you flog her the third time, if you like, to keep her, or that is also allowed for you to sell her. ذَلِكَ لِمَنْ خَشِيَ الْعَنَةَ مِنْكُمْ. This permission is given if you fear that you will commit adultery, not marry these women. As I already explained in the beginning, that marrying the slave girls are allowed with two conditions. One, you can't afford to marry the free woman. Second, you can't have patience. You think that if I don't marry that woman, I may commit adultery. وَأَن تَصْبِرُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. But if you have patience, that is better. Because you know that by marrying the slave girls, your children would be slave as well. So it is better. وَأَن تَصْبِرُوا خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forgiving, is merciful. Verse number 26. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَكُمْ وَيَهْدِيَكُمْ سُنَنَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَيَتُوبَ عَلَيْكُمْ وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to explain to you. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُبَيِّنَ لَكُمْ وَيَهْدِيَكُمْ سُنَنَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ, and to guide you to the ways of those people before you. Guide you to the sunnah, to the ways of those people who were before you, from among the good people, of course. وَيَتُوبَ عَلَيْكُمْ, and turn towards you. وَاللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ حَكِيمٌ, and Allah knows and Allah is wise. وَاللَّهُ يُرِيدُ أَن يَتُوبَ عَلَيْكُمْ, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does wish to turn to you. وَيُرِيدُ الَّذِينَ يَتَّبِعُونَ الشَّهَوَاتِ أَن تَمِيلُوا مَيْلًا عَظِيمًا. But those who follow their lust, they want you to turn away from Him, from Allah, far, far away. Now, who are these people who wants to follow their lust? Of course, the people who follow shaitan are all the enemies of Islam. They want you to commit adultery, and they want you to create all this fitna in your society. So, don't follow their ways. Try to make yourself chaste and try to be patient. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wishes to lighten your burdens. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, and the man was created very weak. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to lighten your burdens. It means that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you this permission to marry the slave girls, that is a takhfif from Allah. Just like this takhfif. Takhfif means to make something lighter. Concessions, like 50 times prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it from 50 to 5. In the same way, that permission is given here. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to save yourself from any bad things, from evil things. So instead of following your desires and having concubines and girlfriends, go to the right way. Marry a free woman. If not, then a slave woman. But there should be a believer. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, and man is created very weak. Man is created very weak in the matter related to the woman. That is more important to understand here. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, that this weakness is as far as the women are concerned. This is why there are a tabi like Sayyid al-Musayyib. Sayyid al-Musayyib says that I have reached the age of 80 and my one eye is working, other is not working. And even I can't digest the food. But even then, and he said that my companion is gone, and you understand what does it mean? What does it mean here? Huh? He said, even then, I fear the company of a woman, a foreign woman. I don't want to sit with a foreign woman alone, because shaitan may creep in. And same saying is reported of Ubadah ibn Samit, who is the companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said that I am so weak that even the food is softened for me, and so I can chew it. But I know that if I sit with a foreign woman, then shaitan can come in and can create a fitna. So that should be very, very clear. There is no room for mixed society in Islam at all. No room at all. Mahrams are explained in Quran. These are the mahram. In the company of this mahram, a woman, of course, can sit, but not in the company of other people. Ayah number 29. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل إلا أن تكون تجارة عن تراض منكم ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم إن الله كان بكم رحيما. O believer, don't eat your wealth among you بالباطل, through false ways, except if it is a tijara, if it is a trade, عن تراض منكم, with mutual goodwill among you. This ayah is similar ayah have been discussed in Surah Al-Baqarah, that you are not allowed to take the wealth of another person without any justification at all. So many trades and transactions are not allowed in Islam. Why? Because this is eating up the wealth of other people through false ways. First of all is gambling. When we say this national lottery is haram, why? Even when you take away, when you give £1 and you are not getting anything, then it is gambling, qimar. And the person who is getting 1 million, he has spent only £1, so it means that he is taking the money which is given by other people. That is all batil. That is eating the wealth of other people through dubious ways. And of course, there are so many kinds of these type of transactions which are not allowed. Which is allowed is tijara, is trade. And the main thing in the trade is that the both parties agree to something and they stick to that agreement. There is no force which is applied. That is not done under duress. And of course, when we read about the trade itself, there are a few other things which complete that trade. When you make a trade agreement with another party, the Prophet ﷺ has said, Al-Bayya'ani bil-khiyar ma lam yatafarraqa. The two parties, the seller and the buyer, are given the choice to cancel the agreement. Ma lam yatafarraqa, as long as they have not moved from that place. This is known as khiyarul majlis, the choice of the place where the agreement has taken place. And that is the Sahih hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. But some people, they did not take it. They say, all right, as long as we have paid the money and we have taken the commodity, the the purchase is finalized. No. According to this hadith, as long as you are in the same sitting, in the same place, you got the choice to reject it. Abdullah ibn Umar, who is the reporter of this hadith, he says that whenever I make an agreement or make a deal with a person, after making this deal, I walk few steps away and then I come back, only to make this agreement or this deal finalized. Because I have left the place, so it means the deal is over. But if you are in the same place even for an hour or 2 hours, you got the choice to come back to the seller and say, oh no, I don't want to buy it. Give me my money back. There is one person who reports an incident that we were in a military expedition and we had camped at a certain place. A man came with a horse and one person said, all right, can you sell me this horse and you can take the slave? So he agreed. Now this person spent the night in the same camp. In the morning he wanted to ride his horse and go away. And he said, where are you going? We have already bought the horse from you and we have given you the slave. He said, no, I don't want the slave. I want my horse. He said, no. And then they said, let us go to another Sahabi of the Prophet ﷺ, whose name was Abu Barza al-Aslami. So they went to Abu Barza al-Aslami, they said, this is the situation, give us judgment. After listening to the story, he said, as long as the man has stayed in the camp with you, and he did not move, even though he spent the night with you, he got this choice, Khayarul Majlis. So, if he wants to cancel the trade, he can. There is another addition in this hadith which says, Ma'lam yatafarraqa or Ma'lam yakhtar. As long as they don't part from each other, or as long as they don't give choice to each other. And if you have given a certain choice, that all right, in this agreement we are free to cancel this agreement within this period of time, say 1 month, 3 months, or 1 year. So that is khiyar. That is another khiyar which is given. Or at the same agreement, if you have already said that if we write it and sign it on the paper, then there is no more choice left to anybody. Of course, we have to stick to it. Now, here another thing which we understand from this ayah, that tijarat or trade is based upon tarabi, upon mutual agreement. So if a person wants to sell a very precious things, any very expensive things at a very low price, he is allowed to do that. You can't say, oh, why he is selling this thing which costs £1,000 at a price of £1. No, that is allowed to him. As long as he is happy to do that. Unless if it is found that this person is a foolish person, or you can say so stupid that he does not know what are the prices of the things. Or he goes to the market and he buys the thing at any price which is given to him. Our Prophet ﷺ has given the permission to this person to say to the shopkeeper. The Arabic word is to say la khilabata, that there is no deception. No deception. If there is any deception, or if you have deceived me, then I got the choice to return this thing to you. So if you say this word to the seller and you say, all right, if there was any defect found, I am going to return it. So by saying these words, you got the choice to come back and return these goods. So that is something which is, which can be done on behalf of that person who does not understand the trade or the prices. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, don't kill yourselves. Don't kill yourselves, it is very apparent here that it means don't kill some of you, the others. But it also means that don't kill yourself, don't commit suicide. It can also mean. Though it is not meant here the suicide, but it is meant here the general killing of some person for the other of the other persons. One of the Sahaba, whose name is Amr ibn al-As, presented this ayah in his favor. What happened that in one of the battles known as Ghazwat Zat al-Salasil, he was of course with the Sahaba Kiram, and in the course of their expeditions one night it was too cold and he got this major impurity. Now he said that if I take bath with the cold water I may fall sick and I may die. So this is why he did tayammum, and he led the prayer and led the people in the Fajr prayer until he was reported to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet asked him, Amr ibn As, did you lead the prayer in Fajr while you were in your major impurity? He said, O Prophet of Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, don't kill yourselves. If I have taken bath at that night, I might have killed myself. So I have done my tayammum and I have led the prayer. And Prophet ﷺ smiled. He said, that's all right. Huh? So, Inna Allah kana bikum rahima, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very merciful to you. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ عُدْوَانًا وَظُلْمًا فَسَوْفَ نُصْلِيهِ نَارًا وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرًا. And if any person does that out of udwan or zulm, there are two words for transgression and injustice, udwan and zulm. Sometimes udwan means zulm, zulm means udwan. But if they are put together, then there is a difference. Udwan is to transgress upon the rights of another person. When you snatch the property of another person by force, that is udwan. You have taken it by force. That is udwan. Zulm, you got a trust with you. Someone has placed something with you as a trust, or given you a loan, and then you don't want to return it back. That is zulm. So the person who does anything out of udwan or zulm, فَسَوْفَ نُسْلِهِ نَارًا, we will admit him into a fire. وَكَانَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ يَسِيرًا, and that is something which is very easy upon us. I have explained in my last lesson that which was totally about the temporary marriage, nikah al-muta'. At that time I have also mentioned this verse number 25, which we have read in the beginning. And I may remind it once again by mentioning this thing, that this ayah number 25, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ مِنْكُمْ طَوْلًا, the person who can't afford to marry the free woman, he can marry a slave girl. This is also one of the evidence to show that nikahul mut'a is not allowed. Because if the temporary marriage was allowed, then there was no need to give this permission at all. Why the permission is given to marry the slave girls if you can't afford to marry the free woman? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have very easily said, all right, if you can't afford the dower amount to give to the free woman, then go for temporary marriage. Because in temporary marriage, the dower is maybe a very tiny thing. Some dates, only some dates, as it is reported from one of the Imam, that even few dates are enough for nikahul muta'. So it shows, this ayah 25 shows that there is no allowance made for nikahul muta' at all. That was a marriage which was known in Jahiliyyah, and it remained in Islam for a little time, and after that Prophet ﷺ said that it is abolished, and it is abolished forever. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
Yeah, people do still
Yes, this is why discussion